It's Winterion Day, and not just any Winterion Day. It's Winterion Day 2025, meaning that, as of today, it's officially been 10 years since we launched Ion Gaming. It's hard to fathom that a decade's passed since we sat around in the basement of the original headquarters in Clifton, Virginia, the town I grew up in, and watched as people subscribed to an aspiring game educator and his buddies start a Let's Play well after the format had reached its popular zenith. We've had so many moments, some hilarious, some heartfelt, and some just plain unexpected. Hundreds of episodes of memories. I treasure our backlog, and if you're new to the channel or not familiar with our work, I'd ask you to please take your time and enjoy. Find your favorite game, pick something you've never heard of before, or just take a chance and start a season. The cast has shifted over the years, but the show's always been a ton of fun to record, and hopefully just as much fun to watch. That said, and we get asked this a lot, what is Winterion Game Studios? The company was started back in 2010 to make board games, and after a little bit of contract work and some QA on other folks' titles, I went back to school to learn game development in the hopes of making my own video games. Instead, I became a professor of game design, and WGS turned into something of a passion project. Not only a Let's Play channel, but a vehicle for us to share our knowledge of games through academic panel lectures. Our first panel was in Philadelphia in 2016. Too Many Games was willing to take a chance on a graduate student still trying to finish up his thesis on video games and opera. 10 years later, we've been a part of dozens of panels up and down the East Coast, talking about everything from building games literacy to a Sega hardware retrospective, human AI interactions, orthogonal solutions to RPG difficulty, game design for colorblindness, lessons from Let's Plays, how games function as training and rehabilitation tools, introductions to game programming, transmediation, accessibility and design, psychological techniques for player interaction, deep dives into the role-playing genre, the use of full-motion video in games, thematic explorations of vampires, film noir, the medical field, a deep dive into Westwood Studios, and so much more. We've been sharing our research, knowledge, and know-how for a decade now, and as much fun as I have recording episodes of Ion Gaming with the team, our channel is just as much a repository for those valuable hours of educational content as it is a place for us to celebrate the games we love playing. Besides the videos, what else did we do with our time? I started working with several other YouTube folks on various projects, but the one I have the most pride in is the Ultimate Nintendo series of books. I've been working with Pat Contry since 2017 on his deep dive tomes detailing the history of one of gaming's biggest names. With the SNES and N64 books published, and the NES books reprint on its way, helping these texts be as accurate and complete as possible has been a wonderful way to contribute to documenting that history, and I'm thankful to have played a role in that. Pat, you're a good boss, but a great friend. There have also been the podcasts. Over the last decade, I've been fortunate enough to be invited onto a number of different shows to share fun facts, interesting anecdotes, or whatever wisdom I've scrapped together over my 40-plus years alive to help audiences learn something new or discover something about their favorite games. So to all of you, thanks. And let's talk again sometime. You've probably also noticed, if you're a regular here on the channel, that 2024 and 2025 were pretty quiet by Ion Gaming standards. There have been two very big events we've worked on that have kept us from the usual day-to-day here at the studio. In 2024, Alex and I were brought in to help put on the Adventure Game Fanfare, a convention in Tacoma, Washington dedicated to the point-and-click genre, from the mainstream hits of early computer gaming to the indie darlings of today. It was a 6-month effort from planning and scripting the entire award show to building the weekend's lineup of guests, events, panels, on-screen videos, venue coordination, planning, down to small last-minute details. It took a lot out of us, but the result was well worth it. The feedback we got was amazing, and the show was a huge hit with everyone there. Part of that success was thanks to Roberta Vaughn, who stepped in at the 11th hour and gave us a lot of valuable help on the ground from Washington State while we tried to plan from Washington, D.C. Her passion and knowledge helped so much, especially with the museum setup and any of the volunteer help we needed getting set for the weekend. Sadly, Roberta passed away earlier this year. In her honor, her friends picked up and shouldered her dream, a museum exhibit dedicated to full-motion video games. Again, Alex and I were brought in as subject matter experts, but we're soon helping design the exhibit, source rare and interesting ephemera for display, producing videos for the kiosks, and then heading out to Portland for a weekend celebration in Roberta's name. The museum was one of Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2025's highlights, and I feel pretty good in saying we left it all out there for her. Finally, there's the real life changes. It's been 10 years after all. When we launched Ion Gaming on December 11th, 2015, I was a single guy living in Clifton. My friends and co-hosts all lived close by, and with a jumble of wired headsets and whatever tech I could scramble together from equipment I planned to use on campus, we started recording episodes. 10 years later, and I'm a married man living in Frederick, closer to the Pennsylvania border than to DC. The Ion Gaming cast is in a few different states now. Alex and I have an amazing son who's bright, playful, and every bit as in love with games as we are. He's going to school now, and we just recently had his first snow day. It reminded me of the very inspiration for Winterion Game Studios, that special feeling when the world outside transforms and you have the whole day ahead of you. A warm blanket, a favorite drink, and a great game to play. The spirit of Ion Gaming lives on, even if the show is starting to change. Starting today, I'm changing up the format a little. We will no longer break down episodes into seasons. We simply don't record the volume and frequency to justify a season wrap or to try and partition games into buckets like that. Instead, each game we record now will simply be a new series of episodes for the channel. In addition, we're adding a new show to the lineup, Ion Gaming Live, starting in 2026. I'll be streaming from the studio, recording and chatting with everyone as we go. The lineups will change week to week based on what we're playing and who's available, but those will be streamed on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/winterion. We're currently targeting Sunday nights. Those recordings will then later end up on the YouTube channel for those who can't swing the late hour. I've got a lot of fun announcements to share on stream, including the charity we'll be supporting, some games we'll be playing, possible special guests, and more, so stay tuned for that. Finally, something I have been waiting the better part of 20 years to announce. I'm writing a book. It's been a long time coming, but I'm thrilled to say that Enough Blueberries to Reach the Center of the Earth is officially underway. With a number of first-hand interviews, deep research into the timeline and facts around both it and the people behind it, this will be the most comprehensive and thoughtful look into the history of the Corandia series, from its BBS origins to the iconic Westwood trilogy. I want to thank everyone I've had a chance to interview so far for trusting me with your stories. It's a subject I care deeply for, and I promise I'll put everything I can into writing a book worthy of the legacy your games left. I know this has been a lot for an update, and after a decade of doing this, I was frankly past due for a bit of oversharing anyway. That said, if you want to keep up with any of these exploits, we'll also be updating the website next year. You can follow us at winterion.com for cast member information, an episode guide, details on the show, the book, our panels, events, it'll all be there. We also keep an eye on our socials, so anywhere you can find Winterion or Winterion Game Studios, you can drop us a line. But I'm most active these days on Blue Sky at winterion.com. So, on behalf of the entire Winterion Game Studios team, thank you all for an amazing 10 years. Look forward to seeing you soon.